augmented reality has within this conversation about metaverses and about kind of the future of the digital world. And so to begin with, just to have a very simple definition, and then we'll take a look at a more maybe complete definition of what augmented reality is. But in the simplest form, augmented reality is just a digital layer that is overlaid on top of the real world, on top of the physical world that we see around us. And one of the key differences with augmented reality and other technologies that we hear about today, like metaverses and virtual reality, is that your customers are using augmented reality today. And we're going to see some data behind this to prove it. But that's one of the main differences, is that augmented reality is not some distant technology of the future that's coming 10 years from now, 5 years from now. It's not this like vision that we have. It's actually a reality. It's happening today, whether we realize it or not. And again, we'll take a look at some examples of how much people are using augmented reality, how are they using augmented reality, and how can you use it for your business to really start to embrace this new technology. Another key point with augmented reality is that while a lot of people are using it today, it's also steadily growing very fast. So over the next 2-3 years, it is expected that 75% of the global population is going to be using augmented reality with a very high frequency. You can see here some of that data for the current year. There's already mass scale in this technology. And again, that's one of the main differentiators with other technologies we hear about, whether that's, again, VR, metaverses, these other kind of new things that are coming around. Augmented reality has been around for a while and really has mass scale today. Some other differences between augmented reality and maybe old formats or old ways of using technology is that augmented reality is all about living a story, being part of that story, and not just being a passive audience member that is just listening to a great story. With augmented reality, you can really live in and take part in that storytelling. And one of the differences with VR specifically is that VR is more about escaping from the real world or creating a completely new world, versus augmented reality, which is really about engaging with our real world. And we really believe that the world is great and beautiful, right, and wonderful, and it offers many great things. And so instead of really escaping the great real world that we live in, we think it's much better to think about how can we make that world even richer, even better, by augmenting that with augmented reality. Here's one example of what we're doing at my company. And how we're using augmented reality to make the real world a little bit better for users, giving users new utilities, new use cases, and also giving businesses new tools and ways to connect with consumers. And so the company that I'm representing here today is Snap Inc., which we call a camera company. You might have heard Snap being positioned as a camera company. And we're most well known by our main product, which is Snapchat, a mobile application, a software, a camera software. And there's many use cases for Snapchat, which you may be aware. We have a map, and the map is filled with avatars, which is great within kind of this new metaverse conversation. We've had avatars for many years within our platform. We have a chat functionality. A lot of people forget that chat is in the name of the application. So one of the main use cases of the application is to chat with your close friends. And then we have stories, great content. We have Spotlight, so a lot of really great viral content that users can watch. But the main functionality of Snapchat is really the camera, which is the center screen, and is the thing that you see every time you open the application is this camera. And it's where users are playing with augmented reality and using all these experiences today.